He believed she didn't belong in his world, a world filled with tuxedos, champagne, and Mozart's finest. But the moment her fingers touched the keys, everything changed. What started as a challenge quickly became a lesson, and he realized he had made the biggest mistake of his life. The prestigious music conservatory buzzed with anticipation as the elite piano society gathered for their exclusive showcase. The air was thick with a sense of tradition and competition, where only the most classically trained artists, carefully selected and polished, were given the spotlight. Conversations floated around delicate glasses of champagne, filled with quiet boasts about flawless technique and impeccable lineage. Suddenly, the atmosphere shifted when a black woman entered the grand hall. She was different, not dressed in the tailored tuxedos or elegant gowns that marked the usual attendees. Heads turned, whispers spread, and skeptical glances followed her every step. No one seemed to know why she was there. She wasn't on the official guest list, and murmurs questioned her presence, wondering if she had mistaken the venue or was somehow out of place in this rarefied world. But she carried herself with quiet confidence, undeterred by the subtle judgment. It was soon revealed that she had received a special open challenge invitation online, an invitation most had dismissed as a prank. Defying expectations, she had decided to show up. The renowned elitist pianist, known for his arrogance as much as his skill, spotted her immediately. His lips curled into a mocking smile as he scoffed loudly, drawing the attention of the room. "Anyone can respond to an invitation now?" he jeered, his tone dripping with condescension. His words made it clear that, in his eyes, she was unworthy of the stage, an intruder in a world where she did not belong. Yet she remained composed, respectful, but resolute. When someone asked if she could actually play, she didn't respond with bravado or defiance. Instead, she said simply, "Music speaks for itself." Her calmness unsettled the pianist, but it also intrigued some in the crowd. A murmur of curiosity stirred among the few who admired her quiet strength. Then, with a half-smile laced with skepticism, the pianist publicly challenged her to a duel at the piano. It was meant as a joke, a way to humiliate what he saw as an unqualified outsider. He never expected her to accept, but she did. The room fell silent, anticipation hanging thick in the air, as this unexpected challenge promised to shake the foundation of their carefully guarded world. The grand stage was set, bathed in soft golden light, as the crowd settled into an expectant hush. A coin was tossed to decide who would play first, the small silver disc spinning briefly before landing in favor of the black woman. The elitist pianist nodded, insisting with a confident smirk that he would go second, certain he could outshine and correct whatever she was about to perform. The audience held its breath as she took her place at the piano. Her fingers hovered briefly above the keys before she began. The music that flowed was unlike anything the hall had heard before, a brilliant fusion of classical precision with the free-flowing soul of jazz. Each note carried emotion, weaving a story that reached deep into the hearts of the listeners. Her playing was fluid, yet powerful, technical, yet profoundly expressive. The initial skepticism in the room gave way to silence as the audience became captivated by the unexpected beauty unfolding before them. The elitist pianist's confident smirk began to fade as ripples of emotion spread through the crowd. Heads nodded in quiet appreciation. Some who had doubted her authenticity now found themselves recording her performance, wanting to capture every moment. Her music transcended labels, breaking the boundaries of tradition and prejudice in a way no one anticipated. When her final note lingered in the air, the room was still for a heartbeat, as if everyone was collectively holding their breath. Then, slowly, applause began to swell. Soft at first, then growing into a wave of genuine respect and admiration. The elitist pianist sat rigidly, visibly shaken, though he masked it with a strained smile and a forced adjustment of his posture. His usual air of superiority was replaced by something quieter, more uncertain. Despite his best efforts to maintain control, the energy in the room had shifted irrevocably. The duel was no longer just a contest of skill. It had become a moment of revelation, where tradition met innovation and judgment gave way to awe. With a reluctant nod, the pianist approached the piano, the weight of the unexpected challenge settling heavily upon him as he prepared to respond. The elitist pianist settled at the grand piano with a practiced ease, aware that the crowd's energy had shifted. The applause that had once eagerly greeted him now felt tentative, as if the audience was waiting to see if he could reclaim his place or simply confirm the doubt that had begun to grow. He launched into his piece with technical perfection, every note precise, every scale executed flawlessly. His playing was rigidly classical, filled with speed and complexity that showcased years of disciplined training. Yet, as the music flowed, an unmistakable emptiness lingered beneath the surface. Though impressive, it lacked the soul that had moved the audience moments before. The crowd listened, captivated by his skill, but untouched by emotion. Frustration crept into the pianist's expression as he realized his flawless technique was not enough to sway the room. Determined to regain his dominance, he added complicated flourishes, fast runs, and daring arpeggios, trying to outshine the performance he had just witnessed. But it became clear to everyone, he was playing to prove himself, not to connect with the music or the listeners. Whispers circulated in the audience, almost like a collective memory. He had won competition after competition, but had he ever truly felt the music, or simply mastered the mechanics? The tension grew heavier with each note, and though the piece ended with a flourish, the applause that followed was polite but lukewarm. The pianist knew it too. The energy wasn't his anymore. He avoided looking toward the black woman who had captivated the crowd, his gaze fixed instead on the polished floor. Without a word, she rose and walked toward him, her expression calm and gracious. Quietly, she thanked him for the opportunity, her voice steady despite the charged atmosphere. He offered no reply, caught between pride and the sting of an unspoken truth. In that moment, the veneer of arrogance cracked, revealing the weight of insecurity beneath. Talent alone was no longer enough. Authenticity had taken center stage, and it was a force he had never fully understood until now. Backstage, the atmosphere was electric with excitement and chatter. The crowd from the concert hall had followed the black woman as she stepped off the stage, eager to surround her with congratulations and questions. Fans asked for selfies, their phones raised to capture the moment that was already sparking buzz across social media platforms. Mentors and industry insiders approached, impressed by her unique blend of classical mastery and soulful expression, some offering guidance or the promise of opportunities. Yet despite the whirlwind of attention, she remained humble and grounded, her focus never drifting toward fame or recognition. Her passion was pure, a deep love for music that had brought her here, beyond the judgment and skepticism. From a distance, the elitist pianist watched, a quiet figure standing apart from the growing crowd. Those who once admired him now shifted their attention, drawn to the woman who had upended expectations and redefined what it meant to perform. For the first time, he seemed less like the proud virtuoso and more like a man reconsidering his beliefs. He approached her quietly, the noise fading as he spoke, with an honesty that surprised those nearby. He admitted, reluctantly but sincerely, that he had underestimated her. "You didn't just play music," he said, his voice softer. "You told a story." She returned his words with a warm smile, responding simply, "Music is for everyone, even those you don't expect." It was a moment of mutual respect and understanding, a silent acknowledgement that true artistry transcends background and expectation. As the crowd continued to buzz around them, she turned and stepped outside into the cool night air. With earbuds in and a soft hum on her lips, she walked confidently into the city streets, a living reminder that talent is not confined by privilege or tradition, but rises from passion and truth. Her journey was just beginning, and the world was finally ready to listen.